So, a few weeks ago, I posted a video called Toxic Manager, and that was all about what to do if you have a bad manager. And hopefully, you won't have one, but the longer you're in the working force, you probably will encounter someone who's, well, not the best. So, I was thinking, well, I need to do the other video now, and it gives me great pleasure to do this video about great managers and what to do if you have a great manager. Because there are things that you need to pay attention to and things that you need to sort of observe and learn from. So thanks for watching. I'm Joe from Pictoria. Thank you so much to everyone who's taken the time to subscribe to this channel and like these videos. That's enormously important to me. Thank you so much. So on with this video. Here we go. I have had the good fortune of having some fantastic managers over the course of my career, and I actually have a great manager right now who reports to another great manager who reports to another great manager. So there's a VP, a director, and then my manager. That whole string going up. Honestly, they're really great people and they've been good to me. Now, that has not always been the case, but I'm lucking out these days with my present employer. So what to do if you have a great manager? If you're first starting out, let's say from high school or college, and it's your first job, you might not realize that you have a great manager, comparatively speaking, but over the course of time, you may run into bad managers and you'll say, oh, that last manager I had was great. So here's what to do when you have a great manager. It's pretty simple, but you need to pay attention. Pay attention to how they run their operation. Pay attention to how they make decisions. Pay attention to how they sort things out, how they maybe sort out drama, how they deal with drama on the team, which could happen, how they deal with people above them, and how they disseminate information down onto you and your team, and how they act and react when it comes to the work you're doing and the life you have. So a big part of having a great manager is them knowing and understanding that you have a life outside of work. You know, you might need time off. You might be going to night school. And a great manager will help you in those times so that, you know, you have that great work-life balance that you really need to have. Another thing a great manager is going to do for you is teach you how to manage people, because there may come a point in your career where you're a manager and you want to have had these experiences working under people who are really great and know what they're doing, so that that's the kind of manager you can be. One of the best managers I ever had, I mentioned in my Toxic Manager video, told me that the reason she's such a great manager is because she had some pretty bad managers over the course of her career, but she also had great managers too, and she learned from them. I was a little bit spoiled when I started working. My first manager was really fantastic. Her name was Ellen, and I worked at Hood's Milk in Boston, which was my first job. I actually worked in the ice cream division. I was 15 and a half, just legally old enough to work, and Ellen was so good to me. So Ellen, if you're watching by any chance, thank you. I love you so much. Here I am, and you'd be proud of me, and thank you so much for what you taught me. So what Ellen did was, she was really no drama. She was very flexible. She was extremely good at running the division. She knew all her people. She played to people's strengths. She got the work done. She made sure the work got done. And she actually made sure that it was a pleasant experience to work in that office. It was a corporate office. And our job was to fulfill ice cream orders for country clubs and supermarkets in the Boston area. So it was a lot of telephone work, and it was a lot of filling out forms, and it was a lot of interacting with customers. But it all had to get rolled up and bundled up into orders that eventually left the dock and went out to various clients around the Boston area to fill their ice cream orders. So that was a really cool job. But I learned more from Ellen and how she ran her department than the job itself. And then when I moved through my career, I had a mix of really good managers who, as I was younger, could see that I was struggling. If I was having any problems or questions about things, they were always making themselves available. That's another thing that you should really think about. What makes a great manager great? So if you ever become a manager, you'll find that you have to balance your time to get your job done and to help the people who are working for you. And you need to do that in sort of an emotionally intelligent way, right? So you can't show that you're upset too much because that's going to affect people that you work who are working under you and affect your team. So it's really, really a challenge to keep your emotions in check when you're a manager and manage the team, because oftentimes managers are really used as a barometer or sort of a weather vane for the entire team. So if the manager's happy, then most likely the team's going to be happy. But if the manager's in a bad mood, then that really does affect the team in a negative way. So I would say that as you go through your career, look for great managers and don't be afraid about letting them know that you feel they're doing a really good job of managing the team and managing the department. And ideally, if possible, what you'd really want to do is kind of get in and get a mentorship going underneath them so that you can learn. And what that's going to do is allow them to teach you. You might find that great managers like to be teachers as well, and they love to share what they're doing, because if they can help put more great managers into the world, that just makes the corporate world and the world at large a better place. So you might really be of the mind to say, I'd like to learn more from you. I'd like to take on more responsibility in your department and learn how you do things. That's going to help me in my career. You shouldn't be shy about saying those things. It might be like a strange thing to say to a manager, like, hey, I want to be like you, teach me what you do. But believe me, they're going to get it, and they're going to be grateful to you that you ask that. And they'll help you out, and that's going to in turn roll into you being a good manager. So on a global scale, why does any of this matter? Well, if you're working for a big company and they have more good managers than bad managers, then that means the corporate culture is going to be better overall. But if the managers are toxic or not that good or bad or whatever, that does collectively affect the corporate culture and it hurts the company. So it's really a win across the board for everyone. You as an individual, in the arc of your career, the more good managers you have, the better off you're going to be. And I would hope that you would learn and you would become a good manager and you would teach others who are under you to be good managers as well. So being a good manager really means stepping back and emotionally removing yourself from any drama or stress that's going on in the job. That's not easy to do at all. At the same time, you need to get your job done for the people you're working for and manage your team. So it's a balancing act. Again, not easy to do. That can be stressful in and of itself. But there are great managers who can do this. And there are people who can diffuse situations, who can go to you as an employee and say, how are you doing? How are things working out for you? What can we do to help you to make things better? A good manager would do that. And then it works in their favor and it works in everyone's favor, because if they're being good to you and helping you achieve the goals that you have in the job, then you're going to do more for them. That's going to help everybody across the board. So the other thing I'll mention about good managers is that everyone has a life outside of work. A good manager can really make a difference in your household, your home life, right? If you have a manager who's cool and understanding and really smart and works with you to help you strike that work-life balance, then things are going to be better for you overall across the board. And a great manager, you should ask them, you should sit with them if you can and say, this is where I am in my career and this is where I'm going. Am I on track? Or what things can I do to help be a good employee, be a better manager someday, and just in general be a success in the workforce? Okay, the last piece of this great manager thing is that sometimes there's a heartache involved, because it seems inevitable that eventually they're not going to be your manager anymore. They might leave the company, or you might leave the company, or they might get promoted into another division. So the most important thing I can tell you about this concept of having a great manager and working with a great manager is to kind of latch on to them. Connect with them on LinkedIn. Stay connected with them after they leave the company or after you leave the company. Put them in a category of, this is a great human being who has affected your life. Remember, if you watched my Toxic Manager video, you'll know that I started that with a saying from my dad, who told me, you're going to meet some of the greatest people you'll ever meet in your life. And he was absolutely right. And I made the investment in those people to stay in touch with them, because as you go through your life, they know you and they're great people and they're smart and they can help you out. So it's worthwhile to stay in touch with them. And if you ever get the opportunity to repay them by helping them in some way, you should totally go for it, because it's worthwhile to help these people out. Okay, that pretty much concludes this Great Manager video. Not much to say, pretty obvious, but the reason I'm doing this is because there are some subtle things, like people day to day might not realize that they do need to acknowledge that they have a great manager, try to mentor under them and learn as much as possible from them. These are activities that you need to actively engage in to benefit, and let them know that they've been great to you, and stay in touch with them. All right, that's all I have to say about great managers, and hopefully you'll be a great manager yourself one day. Again, thank you to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. Thank you to everyone who liked the video. My name's Joe, out from Vox Pictoria. Thank you so much. Take care of one another. Take care of the world. Bye.